back. We're back again here with Assemblywoman Maritza Davila. Before we get into the interview, let me shout out again our two co-hosts that's not here today. Well, not here for this segment of the show.
They'll be at our 6 o'clock show.
Exactly. Hennessy, Rosa, and Bella.
Bella. Yeah, beautiful. We also want to give a quick shout out to our co-sponsors. God bless you. La Nueva Esperanza and Cono Natali Real Estate for always being participants with us. And of course, my body scrub company, Taino Body. So I wanted just to give a thank to the people that are helping us put this together. But let's get right into the show because we know the Assemblywoman is busy and she's running around and she's on grandma duty today. So
yes,
we gotta
make
sure she takes some. That's the first priority is family.
Absolutely,
of course.
Family first. Yes.
Well, first and foremost, Maritza, thank you for coming.
Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you for showing up. Glad to have you. We can explain to our viewers who you are, but nobody knows you better than yourself. So
that's true.
Would you like to introduce yourself to our viewers?
Sure. I am Assemblywoman Maritza Davila. I represent the 53rd District, which encompasses Bushwick and some of Williamsburg. Okay. And I'm a very proud Puerto Rican woman.
She's got the two hottest neighborhoods in the world right now.
yeah, actually, yes.
So we always like to kind of get into people's history a little bit and sort of what got them into the position they're in now or the place that they're in now. So we were kind of talking off air and we were like, let's just start. You know, how did you? So your grandmother came when you were young, came to Williamsburg, and that's sort of the trajectory that brought you into Brooklyn in a sense.
Yes, my grandmother and my mom, she was 17 years old, came from Puerto Rico. We all were born in Cataño, Puerto Rico. And my grandmother decided that she needed to make a better life for herself, other than working in tobacco farms and other, really tough jobs that she worked in. But it didn't get any easier when she came here because she then worked in a factory and she did not know how to read or write. And so, she took one bus to work, to and from home, and to work in home, and that's how she started the family. She brought everybody else from Puerto Rico into New York City.
But it's amazing to me because I've always known you to be a strong Puerto Rican woman, but even without the Puerto Rican or the woman part, a strong person. But I mentioned the woman and the Puerto Rican part because our last guest was also a product of a woman who left everything she had in Puerto Rico and came here and almost established an entire empire, right? Our last guest had a fashion and music world. You have a community activist political empire that you've kind of grown. So it's fascinating to see how women are really the backbones of our communities, especially as Latinos. And now you're the chair of the Puerto Rican Hispanic Caucus, which is an amazing thing to have in our neighborhood. So I'm proud of that fact.
Thank you.
From my end, but what does it mean to you to have that leadership role for the Latino community?
Well, it's an opportunity to service all Latinos in the entire state, not just my district, but to expand. We are now, we have started a project which is called Somos on the Road. About 3 weeks ago, we visited Buffalo. So, as communities like ours are being gentrified, we want to know where our Hispanic people are going. Yeah. And to my surprise, a lot of them have moved to Buffalo, Syracuse, Rochester. And we need to continue that civic engagement with them. We have a responsibility, not only as elected officials, but we have a moral responsibility as Hispanics to ensure that all of our kids, all of our mothers, all of our fathers, have what they need. This is by far the greatest state in the entire world.
Empire State.
Yeah, that's right. And so, it's important to ensure that we have a grab on that. Not only that, we have to move our policy and our agenda forward. And how do we do that? We do that by coming together as elected officials, and I tell you, I have some great task force members that are on it. We are just phenomenal in terms of moving and shaking policies such as, you know, the DREAM Act, the green light bill, which allows people to have licenses that are not citizens or residents. So we're doing things, and I'm proud of that.
You answered our second question, which was pretty much to talk about any legislation and causes that you're working on, but you just hit us with that information. So,
Perfect, yeah.
is there anything else aside from the DREAM Act and
Yeah,
the DREAM Act bill
definitely.
that you want to sort of tell our viewers about that you are
Definitely.
that you have worked on in the past that
Well,
you've done?
yeah, definitely. We've wow, there's so many pieces of legislation that it's hard to remember because these things happen so quickly.
Right.
You're moving. But we did the criminal reform.
Right.
We did they raised the age. So all of these things affect our young
Community,
people in
for
the
sure.
community, gives them opportunities, other opportunities that we never had in the past. So it's our voice that's in Albany saying, listen, we need to protect our kids. We need to give them a second chance. Because the only thing that we didn't have was opportunities. We had to go and get it. No one gave us anything. So all of these reforms and all of these laws help to not only give opportunities, but it helps shape the community as a whole. And it helps them stay here and be leaders themselves. So, yeah.
Very true. What sparked your interest in politics?
Andy knows. Andy was around for a long time. Don't look at that smile. Don't underestimate. Well, you know, I honestly what helped me was my own passion for my family. I was living in a dilapidated building with no heat and hot water. Growing up in Bushwick, of course, was tough. You had to either swam or you sang. And so I was one of those people. I was always a fighter. I don't know, that's what my mother used to say, my grandmother, you were born to fight. But it became more obvious to me because I was here when it burned down, when Bushwick burned down.
Yeah.
When Bushwick burnt down, I was here and I saw it. We lost about 600 buildings.
Wow.
So I had to go through school through vacant lots. I had to see a lot of things that no child should ever live through. But instead of seeing it as a negative, as I got older and I had my own children, I realized that I didn't want them to go through what I went through. So I decided to fight another way. And so we got together in that building, we cleaned it up, they were selling crack, and we cleaned it up. There were 6 mothers, 6 women living in that building. And we decided to clean it up and take it over. We started a tenants association, and then, you know, we had it for many, many years. And that helped me. I got an opportunity, of course, and I will never deny. Assemblyman Vito Lopez was one of those people that saw something in me back then when I was a young whippersnapper that, you know, was ready to fight for my children, and he gave me an opportunity. And from there, it was like, wait, if I could do this for my own children, imagine how much more we can do for everybody else. So that's exactly what I did. I took it on. I took on the organizing part of it and gained the respect of the people in the community because not only was I one of them, but I was willing to help them change. And so
that leads us actually again into our other question, which is
She keeps like
going right into it. We wanted to talk about the Bushwick rezoning that's going on. So your experience as a housing organizer in the housing world.
hold on, I'm sorry. Come here.
We have grandma duty today.
I'm sorry, guys. You know, it's not that I just don't want to. They have to be kids. So
No, yeah, we don't mind that.
not at all.
It's not the first time and it won't be the last time. And we appreciate you being on, especially on a Saturday because of that. So we wanted just to, because you are a housing organizer and because we do have this housing rezoning that's going on, what's your take on on the mayor's plan versus what the community wants, and how do we sort of figure out where this goes from there in a sense?
Well, look, it's not a surprise, and it's not at all. Again, I'm a state representative, so it's kind of hard to fight for things that you can't control, right? But I do have an opinion, and nobody's gonna take that from me. I'm unapologetically me. And so I feel that this, this state is for sale right now. Okay? Other than that, we need to protect the people that are currently here. We need to hear their voices, because at the end of the day, they're the ones that are going to stay behind. And we can't disrespect that. If it's going to generate revenue or whatever the case might be, that's fine. But think of the people, because at the end of the day, everybody's term ends. Nobody stays in power forever. And so the ones that suffer are the people that are staying here, that are raising their children here. And we need to listen to that. I have a problem with just one person just making a decision and opening up a process where otherwise they say, we're going to give you an opportunity to express yourself, and you're going to be 3 years doing an entire project, and they say, no, we're not doing it like that anymore. That is disrespectful. And people come first. Okay.
Well, we're gonna go over to our first music break in Maritza's interview. Guys,
the Assemblywoman Maritza Davila.
Tell your friends about us at That's a Fact NYC. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Add us on Facebook. That's a fact.
Wait. This way.
Baby J. Hey. Come here.
That's a fact. Welcome back to the interview. Just had our music break. That was Things Changed by Michael Mendoza and Jordan Ross.
J Cross.
Yeah.
He has 2 names.
He has 3 names, but I'll call him when I want to call him. But yeah, we're back again with Maritza Davila. We're gonna get appropriately personal.
That's fine. Fine.
A lot of people see public figures and celebrities and just label them inhuman. I want to know a few things about you. The real Maritza. I'ma just be nonchalant. What's your drink of choice? What type of music do you like? Who are some of your artists that you like now?
That's a great question. Again, I'm unapologetically me, and people will see me in the hood wearing my hat, my sneakers. That's who I am.
Exactly.
And even if I'm an assemblywoman, I don't see myself as having power. I see myself as giving opportunities to others. And so, you have to stay humble in this game, because you got to fight for this every 2 years. And there's always somebody trying to come at you.
Yes.
But I know that I grew up in Bushwick. I know I'm a Puerto Rican woman. I know that I'm ready for a fight whenever you want to bring it. And people say, why, your attitude? I'm like, what do you want me to do? I cannot change who I am. But I can just pass a law just like anybody else. Right. I can stand firm with a suit like anyone else, but that's not going to change who I am.
Yes.
And so at this point, I'm just a woman, Hispanic woman, that has had to go through all the trials and tribulations like any other Hispanic woman, and get out of all the messes that she's been in the past and be where she's at right now. So that qualifies me not only because I read a book and passed the test, but that qualifies me as a human being, which comes first.
Beautifully said.
So what are your favorite music artists?
What's your choice?
Oh, so if you really want me to tell you, I love salsa. Salsa is my passion. I love it. But I like hip hop as well. I love Beyonce. I love her style. I love J-Lo. I love all types of music. I'm when you grow up in the hood, you're taught to listen to everything.
Versatile.
And so to me, music is part of my culture.
Anybody like that you listen to now, like any new artists or?
Listen, if I tell you, I get in my car and people think sometimes I'm crazy. I go from Busta Rhymes, because I have I have a what you call that, a series, so you can tune into all different varieties or genres of music, and so I go anywhere from salsa to Busta Rhymes to TLC, you know, all of that hip hop and R&B. I love R&B music because it brings me back to my youth. Listen, I grew up in this neighborhood dancing the hustle. I tell everybody, we used to go right here in Knickerbocker Park.
You like house music? Did you grow up on house music?
Of course,
The
of course.
and the Cynthias.
Of course,
Yeah.
of course. They were all our idols. That's what we did in Bushwick. So, you know, we got together instead of, you know, realizing that there was other issues in the community, which was not our place. We were young.
Right.
We wanted to have fun.
Right.
We went to Knickerbocker Park with DJs and we did the hustle or we battled each other.
Yeah, that's a beautiful time. I wish
That
I
was
wish I
beautiful.
would've
Man,
grown up
listen, you cannot recreate what we tried to recreate.
We can't.
But you can.
Yeah. I love house music. I grew up on house music. I have like a love and hate relationship with it. I love the music, but like when I used to wake up on Sundays and hear that, I used to be like, damn, I just scrub this tub.
It's a cute cleaning music.
My mother was playing it.
With us, it was La India.
Saturday, where are you tonight, my love? If you're with another man.
I love all that music.
Yeah.
So I want to change the tone a little bit, just because we decided to have this month's show to be domestic violence awareness in honor of Sade. We all know what happened with her, but I know you've also had your experiences with that. As any woman who was growing up in this era during the 80s and 90s, it was just craziness going on around here. I also know you were very involved in the creation of domestic violence groups and awareness, and I mean, I've always known you guys used to do walks for that stuff. So I guess my question is, what message do you have for young women that are kind of going through something of that nature at this point? What experience and message, I guess, advice that you can give them, so we don't have another Sade situation?
No, absolutely, and my heart goes out to Sade's family. Everyone knows I was very much involved in
Thank you.
You know,
I'm Sade's brother, or older brother.
Oh my God, yeah. Why did I know that? I'm sorry.
No, that's fine.
So Cynthia, your mom.
Yes.
Amazing mom, strong woman.
Very strong.
You know, whenever I hear a tragedy of domestic violence, it brings me back to my own life. And I was a victim. I was a victim for 10 years. And it's very hard, ladies and gentlemen, because there are men that are going through domestic violence right now. It is very hard when you have children. Don't judge anybody. Don't judge anybody, because you may see a woman getting beat and then you say, well, why is she still there?
Right.
Why she's taking it? You never know what goes on in the mind of a victim. The word is victim.
It's hard to leave.
Right, and their aggressors know that they're victims. So that's why they continue to be aggressors, right? They're abusers. Young women and young men. There is life beyond
That current relationship.
Absolutely, I guarantee you that within 2 or 3 months, life will change for you. When you have children, yes, even if you have to get up and go and say, you know what, I need to get out of this relationship, I'm scared. Because the first thing that comes into your mind is, I love him and I don't want my children to not have a father. Or I love him and you know, he didn't mean that. Ladies and gentlemen, oftentimes when someone is beating you, is because in their past, they've been beaten and it's not gonna go away. I don't care how much I love yous and I'm sorry, it's not gonna change. The moment that you even feel, women, you have a sixth sense. The moment that you feel that a man is trying to control you, whether you're dressing or your hair, or he criticizes anything about you, that is a sign that there may be issues moving forward. Step out of your comfort zone. You don't have to go through that. You could be fabulous. And you know what? Use your experience to help others.
Right.
That's all we can do.
Right.
You know?
There's more support in the community now than there was
Oh,
ever.
when I was going through it, you know, we would go to the precinct or the police would come and they would actually tell people to like, oh, just take a walk.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Take a walk, or don't, you know, oh, this is just a domestic dispute. Even if you had a black eye, it was a domestic dispute.
Wow.
Now,
No.
now somebody or even both is getting locked up. So
I tell you now, ladies and gentlemen, if you do have a domestic violence issue, you go straight to my office. My office is located at 249 Wilson Avenue between Harmon and Himrod. And my telephone number is 718-443-1205. Get help, don't worry, I will be there for you.
And that's exactly why I wanted to have you on the show, to let people know there are resources. And
Yes, there's plenty of resources.
sometimes I even like in Sade's situation, I think you mentioned we had Evelyn Cardona here in the last show, and we talked about it. It must have been just a crack in the system because the resources are there. It's just that, you know, she went to the precinct, it just didn't materialize in a sense. But
Well, so as we're speaking now, we're drafting legislation, Sade's law. Because what happens with that particular law is that they're both responsible. The sheriff's office and the police department are both responsible for serving that order of protection. Now, would that order of protection change anything, or the fact that this guy was just out of his mind and was gonna try to do whatever?
something no matter what.
Ladies, please listen to me. The first couple of weeks of you leaving a domestic violence relationship are the most critical. You will be victimized because they lose the control, so therefore they feel they lost everything. Do not stay around the same neighborhood, do not stay in your same house, and warn your family members because you never know. Now, the law that we're trying to pass is that within both of them, within the sheriff's or the police department, if it has not been served within 24 hours, they're both responsible. Okay? One cannot pass the buck over the other. Okay? Oh, it was the sheriff's responsibility. Oh, we went and we knocked on the... We don't want to hear none of that. Because we don't want any more Sade stories. Everybody is responsible for this, including the neighborhood. If you know that someone is being victimized, say something. Say something.
No, yeah, I've been involved, and we've spoken about my involvement in someone that had a domestic violence situation, and you know, I think I followed your footsteps in a sense where I sort of put my own life at risk to make sure the person was protected, you know. But, it's amazing to have a leader like you who's fighting for those types, because those are not easy situations to fight for.
And nobody wants to really expose their lives, right?
Right.
And nobody wants to talk about their lives. People are very
Private about
certain things. And I tell you, if you tell your truth, ladies and gentlemen, you will be fine. You don't have to hide behind closed doors, and they will never be able to come near you.
sorry.
No, it's alright. We're kind of wrapping
I'm
up.
sorry that
No, it's an emotional thing for
Yeah.
I
for
know,
James,
and I'm sorry.
But and it's appreciative. I mentioned to you that we can take on this fight. You know. I guess we'll wrap it up by asking. We always ask our guests at the end to kind of let us know any future projects that they're working on. I know I want to give her a quick shout out for inviting me to Somos. It's going to be in Puerto Rico. It's going to be my first time. I'm looking extremely forward to it. We're actually talking about doing, there's going to be two of our hosts are going to go and two are going to stay. So we may try to do a connecting show on the night.
That would be great. I would
Depending
love
on
that.
like the situation that we can figure something out over there. But it would be kind of connecting Brooklyn and Puerto Rico at the same time.
Yes.
But aside from Somos, is there anything else you kind of want to let the community know that they're working on?
Well, you know, you never know what's going to happen when you walk into Albany in January. There are special bills that we're trying to pass this year, especially as it pertains to the educational system. And as far as the community is concerned, I want you to know we're going to try to continue to organize. We want to try to continue to keep our community together. Today we do events almost every week. I just came back from a pumpkin giving, like Halloween event that we had across the street at the garden that we helped develop with PS 376. So there's always things in the community that we can look forward to. But listen, we're preparing. We're preparing for whatever comes next year. We are ready, and we're hoping that people stay engaged in the community because we cannot do this without people.
Amen to that.
Thank you for coming, Maritza.
It's my pleasure.
We appreciate you. One more thing, I just want you to shout out the sponsors one more time.
Oh, sure. Just quickly thank you to La Nueva Esperanza, to Kono Natali Real Estate, of course, Taino Body. Also want to give a quick shout out to City Subs. City Subs was looking out for us.
City Subs.
And you know, it's truly an honor and a pleasure to have you on that show. The same way we feel about Vito, I sort of feel about you, because you've given me a lot of lessons about politics and about community and about peoplehood, just being a person in this world. Because it's, you know, when you're in the political world, you can kind of lose track sometimes of reality. And I appreciate you for that, because you always ground me and let me know, like, take it easy and relax, and let's do the right thing for the community at the end of the day. So,
And that's what it's about, and I'm very proud of you, I have to tell you. You've come a long way, Andy, and you know you will always have me on your side, and thank you for what you do. You definitely look like your daddy. That's all I can say. And your family is a wonderful family, and once again, thank you for allowing me to be here today.
Thank you for having
And
us.
I wish you both much success.
Guys, we're gonna go to our last music break, and when we come back, we're gonna wrap up the show.
And don't forget, we'll be back on live today at 6 o'clock with Councilman Reynoso. He's coming on our show, so make sure to tune back in 6 p.m. tonight.
Maritza Davila, guys.
The Assemblywoman, la líder de la comunidad.
You gotta find your permanent space.
Look at growing. My goal is to let them make it their own thing. It's like very politics now. That's what I
You know why?
bring our
That's
every now and
that's
then.
They can't do fire.
You whisper like I'm not the only one. You know I wouldn't give the word to you. I'll make it to you. You whisper like I'm not the only one. You know I wouldn't give the word to you.
I was here, I saw, but I don't know.
I don't know. That I want to leave with you.
Well, thank you guys. You know what I should have? You look like your father. You all look like your father. You know that, right?
You received it a lot.
And Jason, that's my baby. He helped me with my campaign.
What's his name? With Jerry, right?
Oh man, you guys are awesome. I'm so